Very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all on the DATV Worldwide Net today. Wish to welcome everybody aboard, as well as all the YouTube viewers and also those watching on their own stations at home via the satellite. We'll also start off by thanking the Qatar Satellite Company for allowing us the opportunity to have our amateur satellite together with their commercial one. Also wish to thank AMSAT DL, AMSAT DK, and of course the BATC for all the advice and wikis and wonderful web pages to assist newcomers to the hobby, especially to digital amateur television. Today on the list we have the following: ZS1 Mike Leon to follow, and then Martin G8KOE in the United Kingdom. Going to talk about All-Star Radio Les Node. That sounds very good, Martin. And then to Benno in Holland, Papa Alpha 3 Fox Bravo X-Ray. Paul in Austria, Ocean Echo 8 Papa Charlie Kilo. And then Frank, G8PQH, and he's trying Ohan's Node Red. I saw you earlier, great signal. Hello to Peter in Wales, GW7BZY, and then Paul in the Netherlands, Papa Echo 1 Alpha Victor Papa, and then all the way back to the UK, G4IMO. Those are the stations that we have on today. Quite a nice net, a lot bigger than last week, but we're always happy to have people on the net, of course. Right, with that, I'm going to pass it to Leon, ZS1 Mexico. Will you kindly take it, Leon, from ZA6 Yankee India?
Okay, thanks Gary, and good morning, afternoon, good evening to everybody on the net. Gee whiz, I don't have much news. The weeks go so quickly nowadays that I'm working again that yeah, what did I do? I fixed a very fancy ultrasonic cleaner yesterday from Stellenbosch University. That had quite a few interesting problems, but anyway, that's going back tonight. And what else did I do? No, I don't know, can't remember. Anyway, so not much news from me. I shall pass it on to Martin. I'm not going to stay in very long because I have to get to Bredasdorp fairly early today, but yeah, I'll be here for at least this round. Martin, you take it. G8KOE for the group from ZS1 Mike.
Okay, that's my node talking, my call sign and such like. Right, we'll see if we can try and get something sensible out. Sort of half prepared and half not prepared, as usual. And we're sort of thinking about things. But radioless node, All Stars, you know, I'm pushing a fair bit as a general chat channel, talk back, or a channel that two of you could wander off to, because it's all peer-to-peer, so you can just go off together and just have two of you connected, or three of you connected, or four, or whatever number you want. But I wanted to play with the new side of things, which let's go to the center screen. You've got the latest ASL download, which is from there, which you end up with All Starlink 3, which is easy to install if you follow the instructions. That is, must follow the instructions, otherwise it doesn't set things up. That's after you've registered a node, etc. And you end up, oh well, got rid of the dashboard. That's right, you end up with a dashboard like that. Well, that at the moment is on my radialess node, which isn't connected to anything. But we won't connect it at the moment, but I could do, and you just simply connect by pulling that down, choosing the connect command, and putting an appropriate node number, which we'll leave that at the moment because otherwise I think things might get confusing. Let's go back to, no we won't, we'll stay here. Now my radialess node, I thought I'd make it complicated. And you start off with a sound fob. Now it's not terribly well picture wise, but there are two connections to make. Well, you could get away with one, but one's either end of this square chip that's on it. One's a COS line and one's a PTT line. Oh, it shows it better. This was my Mark I attempt of constructing things. It sort of progressed a little bit more. I put it in a box which was disastrous because I had the USB extension. It wasn't making connection all the time, and anyway, we won't bore you with that. So that's what it looked like. We then went off, and that's the latest. So the green one obviously connects to a little audio amp. And the black one connects to a microphone headset which I've got here. That's another sort of side view of it. Oh, another one. And that's the PTT. So it will illuminate as such when it's transmitting. So it's just fed off the transmit line. And the COS line, you're just sorting out to put it into transmit. So it's just a matter of putting the software on, configuring it up, which isn't as bad as it first seems. If you use the image and you look at various YouTube videos, etc., that's it's not horrendous to do. So I've got that node, which is the radialess node. And then I've got the node that I boxed up. I'll go back to the center screen. Oh no, we didn't. We've gone to the wrong screen now. But that's the node that I've boxed up. We're sitting there monitoring 47572, which is just a channel I've chosen. Well, was allocated for my node and number, so anybody can dial into it as such. Let's go back to the center screen. That was the node I inside used, and that's how I boxed it up. Found this box that it just about fitted. I think I showed this last week, but I can't remember. But so that's runs through that side of things. But if I was having sort of looked around at various interfaces and nodes in the boxes and such like, you can in Australia there's a node that but it doesn't export it. But I think for neatness, the Shari Pi Hat U or whatever, because it's got the Raspberry Pi inside, a complete case, and you can buy it from them as a kit, and very little to assemble. It looks neat. That's I think got a Pi 4 in it, if I remember rightly, and I think that one will have a Pi 5 if you want to go that route. But they look a superb, neat piece of kit. So that's would be my where I would go if I wanted to put one all in one box as such. But I've got the node I've got in the garage, which is one that I built. Which I don't think I've got any pictures of it, but I think I showed it before. Let's go back to the camera there. That's that. Ooh. Over here is my Raspberry Pi with the interface plugged in, which is my radialess node, which if I connect it up to come on camera, if I go into well, we're going to connect it up to my main where everything else is monitoring. So I've got connect, and then I put 47572, execute.
Node 4,
So
7, 5, 7, 2, connected to node 4, 6, 9, 3, 4.
well, that should be connected. So if I now push on there, oh, helps if I actually show the right camera, doesn't it? Could do with the camera operator. And I'll pick up the microphone, which is here, hopefully, and push the PTT. Talk into the back of the microphone, the right side of the microphone. It should come out. And let go of the PTT. I'm back into receive. Not probably a very good demo, but it gets a bit complicated. I've got 3 nodes on the go, but that one was set up just so as I could play with the new software that which has a web portal, which I'll just log into. Go to the center screen, which looks like so. I think I'm done 2 keys at once then. Hopefully that's going to log in. Gives you logs and storage and network accounts and tools and software updates. Then it got the terminal mode, which in the terminal mode, sudo asl-menu. Okay. Helps if you type the right thing in. Brings up, I think I put a dot before, didn't I? Gives you configuration side of things. So you've got node settings. So you can go to the node settings, all-star node setup, update node, that's the node I'm using. And if you wanted to, you could go all the way down to a thing called CLI interface, which looks at the sound fob and gives you the option of setting up the levels, etc., etc., etc. But just following the commands. That just gives you an insight. I'm not going to, there's a lot of people on, but do have a go. It's not difficult to get on the All-Star link. Mike is on there, I think, which gave me a call. He's running the same sort of setup as I've got, basically. And Roger, I think he's boxing his up, was loose on the bench. And Nigel is sent his back to me. As soon as it arrives, I'll configure it for him because he was having a bit of trouble with configuring it.
G8KOE.
Okay. That's an announcement from my node, one of them anyway. And the other thing that I am monitoring it with is this thing, which is IAXRPT. But what you can also do, this says, if I can find it, phone, he says, let's see whether we can get the appropriate camera. I'm running out of room here. I've lost me where I am. Right, not that camera. Put the phone on. Okay, there's a thing called DV switch, which looks like so. Which you say connect.
Node 47572.
And PTT is just like that. Jake Carey. So that you can also make use of, and that you can obviously connect to anywhere to your node if you've set it up accordingly. Right. Apologies for making a long one on All-Star again. But the DV switch was pointed out to me from the after the worldwide the net party net, when a couple of Australian stations suggested that's what they were using, and their audio quality is absolutely superb. So you've got more than one way to get in. So you can either use your radio, which most people have got a radio going into your node, or you can use a wireless node, or you can whatever. On that note, I better pass it over to Benno. And please, Benno, the usual thing, I don't want to know about the racing. Oh dear. Over to you there, Benno, from GHKRE.
Hi guys, let me quickly turn off my audio. I see my light is a little bit dark today. I have a lot of background light, probably causing my camera to be a little bit too dark. Anyway, only one over for me. I'm kind of in the middle of a contest on 2 meters, 70 cents, 23 and 13 cents on DATV here. Besides having looked at the Formula 1, which is already over this time. Last week I wasn't around, so I couldn't attend, and I saw the short list, so I thought to myself, I need to at least be a one over. On the desk, too much projects to talk about, and on the other side, not much and not very much interesting playing around with something digital. And I'm not going to play with digital audio repeaters and things like that. I have a DMR working, and I never liked it at all. And I have cello working, and I never liked it, so I won't go into All-Star despite all the possibilities it gives you, Martin. So thanks for the presentation, but no, I won't go in that way today. But if I think otherwise in 1 year ago, I know who to attend to. Hi. Okay, that's basically it. 73's all, only one over, Gary, and I will pass it on to Paul. I saw great pictures from you. I understand you're well, and I hope everything goes well over there. And I still need that STL file from you, Paul, from the cabinet of the Pico you made. I need to have that. I'm not sure if you have it somewhere online. You may want to address that to me. And 73 is all from Papa Alpha 3 Fox Bravo X-Ray, and passing it on to Paul in Austria. Do I have a test card? Somewhere along the line I have a test card. I haven't prepared, obviously. Yes. Bye bye, Paul.
Yeah, this is Oscar Echo 8, Papa Charlie Kilo. Just sound check. Yeah, I think it's working. Okay, Ben, I'm sorry, I forgot about that. I'm going to write that down straight away. STL for Pico, and I'll send it to you. Sorry about that. I don't know why I forgot, but there must be some reason. Anyway, it opens at both ends now, and it's a very nice box. In fact, I can show it to you. There it is. Let me see if I can show some. That's how it looks like. You see, that's the one side and that's the other side. Yeah, I can see how lousy my picture is, but I'm sorry about that. I can't do anything better at the moment. Yes, apart from that, we've had some very bad storms. Probably read about it in the news. And yeah, it's calmed down here now, but I think in Upper Austria, everything's underwater, which is not very good. Glad to see Paul back, Papa Echo 1 Alpha Victor Papa, and I hope you had a nice holiday in Austria. I think you got back just at the right time because the weather changed. It went from 20 degrees in the morning to 5 degrees in the morning in one day, and on the mountains we've got 40 centimeters of new snow. So winter's coming, but I think it's going to get warmer again. We normally have very nice weather in end of September, October and November, so that should be okay. And yes, I'm very jealous of Martin with his technical knowledge. I just wish I had a part of it. I can't get my DATV easy to work on the other PC. I've set it up exactly the same as this page or this computer, and it just does not stream from OBS to the DATV Easy. And I am desperately waiting for Simon Brown's software, which is going to come out around about Easter next year. It's on the similar basis to SDR console. All you need is a Pluto, a PA, and the reception with an LMB, and you don't need anything else, and it works. In fact, it's working at the moment. He can receive pictures. He follows the BATC net on Thursdays, and also this net he might be watching now. And yeah, he said he'll be transceive by around about end of, let me think, I think he said end of November or something like that. And yeah, it sounds very, very promising. So that's the only news that I've got. I'm going to give the video a microphone to Frank. Golf 8, Papa Quebec Hotel, microphone to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Paul. But yes, all copied, and nice to speak to you earlier as well. Well, what have I been up to? I was watching the cars. This has happened before. I'm suddenly got dropped lots and lots of drop frames. Don't know what's causing that. At least the sound is still there this time. This has happened before. I actually think it's something to do with the computer. I'll hand it on to Peter, GW7 BZY, while I work out what's gone wrong. There's nothing wrong with Peter's video. He has the best
Okay, well, it caught me a bit unawares there, but that, I wasn't expecting that just then. Forgotten your name. Thanks for the intro. I've just one, I wasn't expecting the there we go. Expecting to be put in just right now, and I just suddenly realised in my heart that I hadn't put the PA on, so I leapt up to put the PA on and the driver amplifier, and get probably the best amateur television picture in the world. Thank you for pointing that out. Yes, I believe that possibly the case, but you know, I don't know. I couldn't say that. I've been having some fun here. I've been playing with with the old machine he's got going. A bit of a bodge involved with it. I don't know if that's clear enough on this without focusing it. I can't really focus. Don't have autofocus. Sorry, I was thinking ahead there. Should I put it on my big monitor? Oh, yeah, you can see the heatsink. There we are, heatsink. That was a defective device, and of course ripping it off broke the board or the tracking, and had to be wired to one of the pins on the here and there. Anyway, why is it given that it's working, why is it not in the circuit? Well, I never even got to finish the box. The software doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work on any computer. I thought maybe one computer, that's just how things are with computers. But no, all updated, doesn't work. OpenTuner, when I got to receive, first off, I thought I was being clever, and I made a quarter-wave whip antenna, a quarter-wave antenna. I know it's not 75 ohms, but I put it into the second socket, and I was getting a good signal. I had it configured for, you know, both sockets to be operative, and only 0.1 dB was lost. But then Thursday nights when we said, oh, it's configured, that they were a little confused by what I'd done, and then I realised afterwards, after I looked at the software, that I could actually use one port for both sides anyway. So that was embarrassing. But anyhow, at least it was a learning experience. But I don't know, as a result of that, or very shortly after that got that all working nicely, I must say. It stopped. It crashed the program. Wouldn't run very long anyway. Would run for an hour, 2 hours unattended, and then it would crash. And now it crashes as soon as it opens. As soon as it receives a signal, it crashes. Or I don't even get a chance to receive a signal anymore. So why have I gone dark? Something's happened. Oh, am I still transmitting? Yeah, I mean, it's gone dark on my PC. Not black screen, but there we go. Not working. So I've gone back to the mini-tune, which I thought was retired. Which OpenTune doesn't work at all with that either. So now I'm working with the mini-tune again, which works faultlessly. And since it hasn't been updated in quite some time, did a really good job of it. So I don't know if the OpenTuner guy's listening, but unfortunately I think Windows has had an update too far, at least at my end. So that's about it this side. Otherwise everything is all good. It's terrible weather. We've had rain here as well, and that didn't help with setting up the receiver, because I don't really know. Of course I had to have a fiddle with some of the connectors, and signal's gone from, you know, a D4 to D1 or 2, but again the weather's terrible, so it's probably the water in the sky that's causing the problem. But yeah, it was very interesting what Martin was saying, especially when he went under that something switch, which I have downloaded on my phone, but I have no understanding what it does. And of course, as he was just going to tell me about that, my laptop crashed, so I had to reboot that and missed out all the bit that I wanted to hear about. Very excited, by the way, hearing from Paul that, especially under the circumstances, that you can get the Pluto will be able to receive sometime in the future, imminent future, both receive and transmit, which would be fantastic, and hopefully maybe more reliably than then certainly Pico Tuner has been for me. I'm sure for others. So it's just typical. Whilst it's been out of action and I've been a bit slow in the curve and getting one going, it's probably worked faultlessly. But as soon as I get on with it, get it going, there's a software issue. And I don't know whether it's... I can't believe I've tried it on 2 machines, on my main machine here and on the laptop. Laptop's fairly new, I say. It's about 3 or 4 years old. It crashes. They all crash the same. Sometimes it's on and it stays on, but it'll die in a couple of hours, and other times it just won't fire up. It fires up and crashes straight away. So anyway, with that, I'll hand it round. Is there anything else I wanted to say? I've written some stuff down here. Yeah, Martin, all your All-Star stuff was very interesting, and I wish I'd seen that last bit of it. Anyway, there we go. And good to see Leon and Gary there, of course. Oh yeah, Leon, I believe you go away for work or you have a second home, but I've got no idea how far. Well, you do mention the name of the place, I think sometimes, but I've got no idea how far these places are. Given that I think South Africa is a fairly large country, is it 1,000 miles away? Is it 100 miles away? Is it 10 miles away? It'd be interesting to know, to get some sort of handle on your journeys. With that, I'll hand it round to who is next, which I haven't written down, from GW7BZY, with possibly the best amateur television picture in the world.
Check audio. Check audio. Yeah, it seems to be working, which is great. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening for all watching the net. That can be direct over the satellite or via YouTube. Thank you, Gary, for hosting the net again. And as what you can see, I'm back in the Netherlands. I will talk about that later. But first, Gary, in your next over, you perhaps can tell how's your wife after surgery. That's what I saw during holidays, that she had surgery, and yeah, I'm anxious to know how she is at the moment. Well, back to Austria. We had a good vacation there. It's really a lovely country for those who have not been there. There are a lot of mountains, a lot of nature, and that is exactly what we are coming for. We did a lot of biking and a lot of walking, and of course we did enjoy good food. That was also nice. And it was great to have Paul and Christian at the camping site. We really spent a lovely afternoon together, drank a beer, and we even made a video, which you have seen. Thank you, Gary, again, for transmitting that video from Austria. I did watch most of the net via YouTube in Austria, so I'm rather well informed, I think, about what has been going on. Yeah, it makes fun. But I was not able to bring my DATV transmitter. Yeah, of course I could have brought it, but my dish is too small to make sufficient power to the satellite. I only had a 60 centimeter dish to use the narrowband transponder, which I did almost every day. And yeah, that was great. I also talked to Benno from Austria while he was in Belgium at that moment. Yeah. Okay. I suffered from a few problems with the portable setup in Austria. The first one was that there was no Ethernet connection anymore between the Pluto and my laptop. Initially, I thought that must be something with the firewall in the laptop, but yeah, I made an investigation at home, and it seems to be that the OTG cable is malfunctioning. I simply don't understand it, because I'm using that setup for about 3 years now. It always worked, and suddenly it crashed. But again, looking at my investigation at home, it seems to be the on-the-go cable. Interesting. And the second problem was that my power amplifier ran hot, very hot. It ran so hot that my full power did disappear and came back again. It was intermittent. And yeah, the problem actually was a dress of my wife, which was put over the fan of the power amplifier. And yeah, if let's say the flow input to the fan is closed, then of course the power amplifier runs hot. Okay, I did arrive home last Thursday, and indeed, Paul, I left just before the heavily changing weather conditions. Yeah, you will know that there are really heavy floods in Central Europe at the moment. And yeah, the northern part, especially of Austria, is also suffering from those floods. So it's a nasty situation actually there. Okay. Again, looking back at traveling on Thursday night, it went all okay for us. So that is good. I'm cleaning the mess now. At home, and yeah, yesterday we had the repair cafe, which I told about, so that was also great again. And I started to repair an advanced spectrum analyzer just a few days before we left for our vacation to Austria. I bought rather cheap a malfunctioning advanced spectrum analyzer for 26 gigahertz, and yeah, it is simply failing to boot up, and it seems that the power supply is malfunctioning. So I did disassemble the spectrum analyzer, and this is the rather complex power supply. Of course, I did search the internet, but I simply cannot find any schematic diagrams of this specific board. I do have the service manuals of the analyzer, but this power supply unit is not being described there. So I need to do some reverse engineering, I think. Well, I can spend some hours on it. Looking at the last over, clear, Leon, that you fixed your ultrasonic cleaner. That is great. Martin, thanks for the demos on All-Star Link. Yeah, Benno talked about the DATV contest. Well, every morning I'm talking to a few Dutch radio amateurs, also rather active in this contest. So this morning we did not have a usual morning meeting on the narrowband transponder. And Paul, yeah, you talked about the progression of the software developments by Simon Brown. I'm very interested in that. Let's see what comes out of it. And yeah, Frank, what did you do with your hair? I saw that 2 weeks ago already, but your face looked different in the past. And it was also yeah, interesting to see around 1 frame per second from you. And Peter, video was great, but you are suffering from software crashes. I do not know why, but you are talking many times about this. Well, that's it from the Netherlands at the moment. I show my test card and hand over the camera and the microphone to, what was it, Nick, IMO. Nick, please go.
Yes, yeah, okay, Paul, thank you for that. Just make sure I've got some audio here. Yes. Yeah, hear myself talking there. Right, where's my camera? Right, there we go. Are we working? Something's happening anyway. Yes, good afternoon, everybody. Nice to see you on here. It's been a while since I last came on. Been quite hectic here. Quite a few things happening. Today, it's weather-wise, is pretty miserable. It's raining, and it's sort of overcast here, so a pretty horrible day in Wisbeach. Yeah, I've been helping the XYL with her exams. She has these online exams, and yesterday we did fire safety, and this afternoon we're doing first aid. So that'll be interesting for her anyway. But anyway, so yeah, I've been helping her out on that. Last week I was on the I was in the shack here, and I just happened to see there was another station on the QO-100 from South America, station in Brazil. Papa Yankee 2 Kilo X-Ray Hotel. So I don't know whether Ed is familiar with him, but it's nice to see another station here from Brazil. Hopefully they'll come up on here. You never know. What else was there? Yeah, so I haven't been doing very much. I haven't done anything radio-wise here. After the VK QSO party, I watched one of the VK streams. I think it was on the following Tuesday, and there was an Australian station on there. I didn't make a note of his call sign, but what was interesting was his shack. Well, I don't think it is his shack, but there was a picture on there which I thought was rather interesting. I'll see if I can show you this here. Yeah, I should have made a note of his call sign, but yeah, that's an interesting shack there, isn't it? With all those antennas on the roof and all the other ones on the wall there. So I thought that was very good. But I think that's probably a made up picture, I would think, or otherwise he's got some very sympathetic neighbours. So right. Anyway, oh yeah. Actually, yeah, Leon, I wanted to ask you a question because you're very, very knowledgeable on these things. Ultrasonics. Here, I've got a underground copper pipe which comes from the oil tank into the property, and I need to find out where it is. If I was to connect an audio oscillator onto the pipe, say maybe, I don't know, 20 kcs or 30 kilohertz, something like that, would I be able to use some sort of ultrasonic receiver to actually trace where the copper pipe is underground? I don't know how far. Probably it might be 6 inches or 12 inches underground, but I just wondered if that would be a way to find out where it was. The other thing is, I was going to mention, there's some very sad news. I'm not sure if you were on here, but a few weeks ago, quite a few weeks ago, there was a patient who came up on the worldwide net. Whose name is Russ, G4SAQ. I believe he lives down in Southampton. Last week he's had a heart attack. He's currently in hospital. So that's quite sad news, I'm afraid. But hopefully he will make a full recovery. Very sad. Okay, I'll just have a look. I don't think there's anybody else on the net after me. Let me just have a look on there. No, I'm the only one on the net. So I'll put it back to Gary. Round to you. ZS6YI G4IMO.
Okay, Nick. Yeah, nice over from all. G4IMO, ZS6YI returning. I think that Australian's wife calls him a dish. Yeah, that's obviously a photograph that's really been photoshopped quite extensively. But it is humorous. And we wish Russ well. Yeah, it's not good to hear when a fellow amateur has health problems. Just to quickly go down the list so that we keep it short. I know Leon wants to go. He's got about 120 kilometer drive to more south, I think, from where he is. I think almost near the southern tip of South Africa to they call it a test range where they do rocketry and all sorts of missile tests and so forth. But anyway, yeah, Nick, I'm sure if Leon is there, he'll answer you more in depth, but there's no doubt you can do what you want to do. He just did it at the local airport. They couldn't find cables, and he used exactly what you mentioned there. So I don't think there'll be a problem. Martin, yeah, that All-Star Radio, it's great stuff, really. And there's no doubt that with your V-Star, is that what you call it? Your audio is far better than through DMR. I can't stand the DMR. Sounds like you're talking through a pipe. But what you demonstrated the other day was really, really good. So I'm quite interested in doing that. Only problem is I've been so busy at work. It was crazy. Out of the blue, one of the directors at a company in Australia, he was due to come and visit, but he said he couldn't make it. And then out of the blue, he arrived. And while he arrived, I had somebody from Brazil, BMW Brazil, BMW Germany, and another company called Yangfeng in China. They were all in my boardroom when my friend from Australia came to visit. So I really had the United Nations around that boardroom. But it was good fun. But yeah, been busy, man, every day till late at night, and even yesterday. But we're busy with a new project, and there's one part that's giving us bit of grey hairs, but I think we'll solve it hopefully tomorrow. Okay, yeah, Benno, great to see you. And yeah, you're a bit dark there, so I think I'm a bit dark as well today. But anyway, our summer's arriving, so it's going to get good very soon. Paul, excellent signal from you. No problem copying you from Austria there. And Frank, also great signal. You were just a very, I don't know if your frame rate was low, but your picture size was a bit lower than normal, and maybe that's what's giving you the headache. But anyway, I just want to see if, yeah, I've got too many null packets, and I know why. But that's okay. We'll sort that out. It's not bad having null packets, but mine's a little bit on the low end. But I know exactly why that is, so I'll sort it out in the next over. But anyway. All right, and then to you, Peter, with the finest video and signal on the band, by your definition, but it is a good signal, there's no doubt. You do sometimes have a little bit of freezing, well, not freezing really, computer problems by your own admission, but I'm sure in time you'll get that sorted out. But it's a nice signal as usual. And Paul, nice to have you back at home and that everything went off safely. And yeah, it was nice to play the video. At first I couldn't get the audio through, but with Martin's expertise, we got it through, and it came out quite nicely. So looks like you guys had a ball, especially you with no shirt on. You were really having a fun time. And pleased to see you back. And yeah, that's quite a problem, that those switch mode power supplies that they use on these things, especially if it's not documented. And the problem is, if a component goes, normally a whole string of components go. So my advice is to maybe look at the main chip that's running it, replace that, and replace anything else you can. Rebuild that if you really want to be sure, because I played with one of those blooming power supplies with a Telefunken TV set, and I replaced everything except the one chip I couldn't get. Telefunken had their own priority number on it. And then I switched it on. Just like, you haven't seen crackers explode. Have you seen big electrolytic capacitors explode? By gums. That shack smelled like a test range for a long time. Anyway, I eventually got the chip, and it was 2 minutes and the thing was working. But I had to replace caps and diodes and the whole thing. It's a bit of a schlep, and especially if they don't describe what they do in there, that's a problem. Nick, nice to see you on again. Excellent signal. And yeah, I just wish the amateur Russ, you said, well with his heart problem. Yeah, we lost a friend. You know what? It's been 3 Fridays in a row, basically, that we've had to attend funerals. Terrible. Terrible. But anyway, it's a sad state. Okay, with that, I pass it to you, Leon, if you're still there. Failing which, Martin? ZS1 Mexico, Mexico. Perhaps G8KOE from Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee, India. India.
Okay, thanks, Gary. No, I'm still here. Too many questions to answer. So yes, I'm still here. And I see the sun is coming through that window again, through the curtains, and it's really making me red again. I'll have to tweak my colors sometime. Okay, I'm going to take it from the bottom upwards before I forget. Okay, Nick. Yes, there are 2 ways you can do it. You can either make a loop. Let me show it to you on the camera. You see, I've drawn the pipe, and you run one of your extension leads, a nice long extension lead. You connect it to the one end of the pipe furthest away from the house. So you make a hot connection. You can use the earth wire or all 3 wires together or whatever, just to get a conductor from that end of the pipe to point X. And the other end of the pipe is also X. And on those 2 X's, you connect the speaker output of an audio amp. A low impedance, 4 ohms or even lower is better. And you can just put 1 kC tone on there. Not too loud, maybe running about 5 watts or so. And then you go to your next deaf neighbor who's got a hearing aid, and you borrow his hearing aid and you switch it to loop. And then you can just walk along there, and you will find it. You'll hear it. That's why this lead must be as far as possible from the pipe, you know, where you expect the pipe to be. So, because if they're very close, you're not going to get the resolution that you want. The further you can run that extension lead from the pipe, the better. Make it a really long piece of wire around the other side of the house if you can. But anyway, if you're talking of a 1 foot depth, that's very easy. You should have excellent resolution with that. I could not do that at the airfield because it's like about a mile long or even more, the cables that I had to find. So I knocked the earth spike into the ground at one end, and at a relatively high impedance I injected 18 kilocycles into the wiring, and then I used my bat receiver which tunes down to 18 kcs, but you get all sorts of multiples, so it's not critical. And I could find the cables because they were deep. They were about 1 meter deep, and I could find them all doing it that way. But I think for you, this is much simpler. If you can't find an old hearing aid, you just take a high gain, very, very high gain preamp, like used in tape recorders and things like that, you know, and wind a little coil as a pickup. And you just listen with that and walk around the place, and you'll definitely find that pipe very easily with 1 kc tone, exciting the pipe via this extension lead. So you inject it at XX, and you just walk around there with your little pickup coil. Many turns on a 6-inch nail or something, and you should find it. And the orientation should be that you'll have to have the nail broadside over the run of the pipe so that it's in line with the coil windings. Okay, that is Nick's pipe thing. And Nick, you have a mic problem. Your mic is intermittent. When you take a deep breath or you move a bit, your mic goes crackle, and at one stage it actually went dead for a second or two. So there's something with your microphone that's not lekker. Okay, Paul, PE1 AVP Advantage Spectrum Analyzer. I also have one, but not. I think mine is either smaller or older than yours. I don't know. Mine doesn't go so high. When I bought it from the guy, he said to me they are notorious for power supplies. So what he did, he removed the complete power supply. He gave it to me. I've still got it. He said, if you can fix it, you can do that. He replaced that with separate little power supplies, all switch mode inside the spectrum analyzer, because the modern switch mode supplies are more compact than the big one that's inside the thing. So he removed that spectrum analyzer, that power supply, and fitted inside the spectrum analyzer all these small ones, 5 volts and plus 12 and minus 12, I don't know what. I've never opened it. It works perfectly. He said to me, there's the old supply, there's a spectrum analyzer with tracking generator. Works like a dream. So yes, I haven't even bothered to look at the old supply. I still have it here. One day when I really have nothing to do, which I don't know when that'll happen, I'll have a look. But yeah, the separate inside internal supplies work quite well. And Paul, yeah, you're talking about water damage. We have a serious water problem at the work. This is the first time ever that we've had so much water. There are places where the water is standing more than 2 meters deep. Places where there's never been water before. Some buildings you cannot get to. They are standing in the water, and it's many square kilometers of water. I mean, the test range is 70 kilometers long. So it's a big place. And quite a big area of it is underwater at the moment. Some of the roads, it's all tar roads on the place, and large sections of these are underwater. So yeah, we have our share of water problems at work. Okay, Peter, GW7BZY, you wanted the distances. Okay, not many people know where Cape Town is. In case you do know, I am 70 miles from Cape Town here, where I'm here in Worcester. Then I get into my car and I drive to the town nearest the test range, Bredasdorp. That is very close to the southern tip of Africa. It's about 30 k's from the southern tip of Africa. And that is 145 k's from where I am now. So in 2 minutes time, I must get into my car and drive 145 kilometers to Bredasdorp. So that's the distances. Frank, yeah, you had those static frames. Paul, Oscar Echo 8 PCK with a 3D box. I wonder how long it took you to print that. It's a nice box. Yes, Benno was very quick, and Martin with his nodes. Too complicated, and I don't know what I'll do with it. It doesn't go through the radio. It's a funny business. No, I don't. No, not for me. Anyway, okay. So, gentlemen, I have to say cheers and beers. 73s. Hopefully, see you next Sunday. This is one Mike, giving it to Martin G8KOE for the group, and see you next time.
Yeah, okay, there. Got me by surprise then. I don't know why. And the cat woke up as well briefly. She's gone back to sleep now. She's likes it down there just beside me. Right, let's go back to the main screen and mute the audio. Well, I think your audio might be a little bit low there, Gary, but I'm not 100% certain compared with others. But perfectly Q5. And I do like the depth of the pictures better, personally. I like to see the shelf behind. I think that was in focus this time, which it isn't always. But yeah, the darkness, slightly dark image, I don't mind. All-Star, what's the use of it? Yeah, I don't know, really. What is the use of it? No, it's you can do whatever you like. But the advantage of it is that two of you can wander off and have a chat about something. And the audio quality is just like having a phone conversation. It's not like DMR, D-Star, or the others. It doesn't sound like you've got a peg on the end of your nose. So if Benno was listening, that's the reason. I've got DMR, I've got it switched off at the moment. And I started with All-Star. All-Star, not D-Star rather. All-Star is just totally different. And you can do whatever you want to do. So you can access it via your phone if you want to, or you can use a radio to a node that you've got sitting on a Raspberry Pi, or there's a Windows-based app, or there's etc. etc. It's as little as much as you want to. But I just found it very useful that worldwide people can contact you. And if at the moment my sound wasn't going out, someone could call up and go, "Your sound's not coming out." That's it, Brian, you're monitoring it, which it says I've turned down the audio, haven't I, on the main screen, but no, I've got the radio, which is monitoring it. So on that note, and let's hope that Frank has got things going. It's funny the slow mode that you go to. And Peter, with regards to OBS, there's nothing. The various receivers, they work fine. There's nothing wrong with the software. There must be something wrong with your computers or setup. I'm using it at the moment. That's that one, or we could close it down, I suppose, and we could go to the Winter Hill. Close it down. I've got other receivers that are going, but I can't actually get them at the moment. But Pico Tune is on the network. Oh, did I not close it down over here? No, I've got applications of it running here. I didn't close down properly. So we start it up. Connect. Select. There she goes. And if I select from in DATV Red, that should hopefully bring me up on the bottom screen. So there you go. So I don't know why you're having so many problems It's not the OpenTuner software works a treat on all the different on the Pico tune, etc. As I said, at the moment it's running on Wi-Fi, but I could easily change over to the other. Yep, I think you need to look closer at your PC setup or whatever if they keep crashing. And Windows, I'm running, mine's up to date. And to be there, Frank, I like to run the latest OBS, which is why I'm using the virtual cam, not the way in which you've done it. It makes it easy for me. But, anyway, on that note, thanks, Gary, and yeah, your international. If you were to, if you wanted to get into All-Star, the Shari node kit is literally just a Raspberry. You get the kit, the board's all built. You've got to drill a couple of holes in the case to mount it in, and a Raspberry Pi, and you put it all together and put a power supply to it, and you just run the software and program it up. So it's and the step-by-step instructions. There's even a I think a plastic template so you drill the holes in the right place. I don't know whether you need that, but that's all good. Right, Benno's not there, so it's over to Paul. And you say I'm an expert, but looking at that plastic case, I wouldn't know that you've obviously designed and printed up. I wouldn't know where to start. You know, I have to get Roger locally to do any plastic for me. It just my mind, it's just mind blowing. So everybody to their own, and I'm just persistent more than understand what I'm doing. I just keep making loads of mistakes. Right, let's pass it on to you there, Paul. I'll put up a test card, and it's all yours. From G8KE.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, test. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's fine. It's frozen. I wonder why. No, it's working again. Yeah, okay. Yeah, everyone to his own. You're quite right, Martin. But I think it needs a lot more brain for the stuff that you do. I use a 3D design program called Fusion. It used to be called Fusion 360. There's a free of charge version, and it's the easiest 3D software that I've ever used. So I'm sticking to it. And yeah, you can see my 3D printer here. It's a Prusa Mark IV, and the case, because it's got a lot of holes in it, it needed, I think, about 10 hours. But the Prusa Mark IV is really quick, and there's an even quicker model come out now called the Mark IV-S. But I think my one's as easy. I just leave it running overnight. It's plug and play, and I'm not advertising, but I'm saying Prusa is the best 3D printer you can get, and they're not expensive really. Anyway, that was that. And yes, as soon as I don't forget, the STLs will be off to you, and off to Benno. And I've got to try and find and make sure I've got the right ones. That's the important thing. Now, regarding switch mode power supplies, I've had my experience with those. I used to work for Philips, and I bought a Philips TV. I can say this. And after a couple of months, the what do you call it? The switch mode power supply packed up, and I took it to our well, our research laboratory, and they were there with their noses in it for a whole day, and it still didn't work. And then I thought, well, am I having this? I phoned the factory that makes the switch mode power supplies in the Philips company, and he said, well, you said don't mess about with it. He says, we'll send you a new one. You can't repair them. So I'm sorry, but it looks like you're going to have to make the suggestion that Leon had, and I think it's a very sensible one. Switch mode power supplies are very, very difficult to diagnose as far as I'm concerned. So apart from that, I've not got a lot to say. I'm going to start messing about with DATV Node Red or Red on my other computer. But I think I'm going to try and contact Martin during the week. I don't know whether you're on narrowband or something like that, or even over WhatsApp or something like that, just to ask a lot of questions, which would take a lot of time here, which I don't really think is appropriate. Anyway, 73 to everyone. Thank you very much. I'm pleased my equipment has kept up. And I'm hoping to get the new equipment running as quickly as possible. I've got a new PA made, and I'm hoping it's going to put out a bit more power. I'm on full power at the moment, and it's not really enough, I think, for some stations which have got smaller dishes. So 73 to everyone, and who gets it next? Frank. Over to you. I'll just try and put up a test picture, and then I'll switch off.
Just check to see if I've got some audio. Just check to see if I've. Yeah, I think so. I think my freezing frames is due to my little fanless computer getting too hot. This memorably happened when we were having that worldwide QSO party, or the Australian QSO party, and I think I'd had the thing running for a couple of hours. It's one of those things where you leave a piece of equipment running just to make sure it works, and it's actually the running just to make sure it works that stops it working. What I think I need is a new PC. No problem with your signal, Paul. I couldn't copy Benno though. Curiously, Benno's normally a very strong signal with me. So I have a sort of 1 meter dish here, but the Helix transmit antenna shields it a bit, but I listened to Benno on YouTube, but your signal was okay. So what I was trying to say on the previous over was I'd been experimenting with Node Red, and the problems I had was all putting the firmware on the Pluto, which is, as we all know, is normally quite straightforward. But when I put the latest MQTT Mosquito firmware on the Pluto, it kept rebooting every 15 seconds, which sort of puzzled me, to say the least. And I had to take the this is a picture here of my amplifier behind the dish, and the Pluto is in that metal box. And I got fed up. I had a problem with a laptop as well. So in the end, I had to take the whole thing apart, take the Pluto out, plug it in the USB. It still didn't work, and put it into DFU mode, and then the Pluto firmware, and also the U-boot environment file. It's copying that one across also sort of fixed it. So once you got to that point, then the Node Red wasn't working initially, but it appeared just to be some corrupted settings because it had been talking to the Pluto, and it had kept bouncing up and down, and I think that had corrupted it. So after talking to Martin, I reinstalled it, and it was fine. So I've got a few days off this week, so I've got a list here as long as your arm of handy projects that I'm going to work on. So we'll see if I come up next Sunday with a list of completed things. There's at least Arduino temperature monitors, Whisper transmitters, the Magloop project. That's the longest running ham radio project ever. I guess I should try All Star, shouldn't I? So I can talk to Martin some more, but I have to think about it. I have had a DMR hotspot at various times, but haven't spent a lot of time on it. I've got another camera, which is also giving me grief, which is this one. There you go, a different view. So this is a Razer Kaio, but it keeps freezing on me. I suspect again it is the PC, so I think I might need a different one, slightly more powerful. Anyway, I will hand it over to Peter, GW7BZY, the best signal around, or the best video around, and see if his audio is now matching his 7 Freeze. 7 Freeze to you, Gary, and everyone as well, and maybe catch you hopefully next week. So this is G8PQH in sunny Selseyville. Handing it over to Peter, GW7BZY. I'll just stick up a test card and then drop carrier.
I can hear the audio going there. Running 20 frames today, just there's a little drop in video quality, but not to worry. Yeah, all excellent stuff. Thanks to Leon there for clarifying that, so I get an idea. It's a couple. I don't know how far 74 miles is in South Africa. In Wales, it's a long way. In England, if you live on the motorway, it's not so far. So I don't really know. It's probably quite a long way. It's probably a good 2 hours, isn't it? Let's see. Yeah. What was it? Talking about doing stuff. What I've been doing for the last week is renewing me. I know you can see that. My landlord, Rent Smart Wales. Extortion is more like it. They've taken a couple £100 off me for a new license, plus the training. And they've got now we've got a crazy new government. It's going to get a lot worse, I think, before it gets better. I'm hoping for an early election, put it that way. Is that too political? Probably. Yeah, I missed out. It looked very interesting at All Star, Martin, and etc. etc. I don't know whether I don't know why two PCs would have the same problem. I'd agree that it was, some incompetence on my part if it's just one PC and I had difficulty, but both PCs are not liking open tuner now. So I don't know whether, and I've cut down some of the extra boxes, so I don't have the MQT and all that stuff, because I don't think I use it. I don't know what it's about. And yes, I've got a Pi 4, Raspberry Pi 4. Now then, All Star should be a good crack. I think, what's it good for? Well, I think a bit of banter would be fun, wouldn't it? In the same vein as the messaging, because messaging isn't RF, but it still can be entertaining, and I'm sure a bit of verbal going backwards and forwards would be quite entertaining, and certainly it would be not necessarily on air. So that would be quite good. And if you've got a problem, somebody could tell you before you rambled on for about half an hour and realise that you not put your sound, engage your microphone or your encoder or something. So yeah, Chelsea Bill, sounds like a nice place there. I'm not sure if I've been down that way. I'm sure I have. I've been down Eastbourne and Bournemouth and quite a lot of the south coast. So I've probably been down there. I didn't get your G8PQH. I've forgotten your name. I'm sure you did say it, but I've forgotten it now. So yeah, I think the big event for me is that if the Pluto can receive properly, not just really strong signals, because you can do that now. You can use SDR sharp, I think, and receive a very good signal, but not really a weak signal. And there's a lot of faff. You've got to know a lot about the signal before you can receive it. So you might as well receive it first with a tuner. I said I've gone backwards now to the mini tune, which is Old Faithful, and the mini tune receiver box. So I don't know. I mean, if there's an update for the Pico tuner, perhaps I'm not using it, and that might be the issue I'm having. But certainly it doesn't work. It crashes. It actually crashes on the laptop with the mini tuner receive box. So maybe this update's coming to you sometime soon, Martin. Just that you haven't been lucky enough to receive it yet. With that, I think I'm going to say good evening, good afternoon, etc. Good night. And am I on next week? Oh. Yes, I probably am. So that'll be something to look forward to. The best picture on amateur television. Yeah. Thank you for that G8 PQH and Martin. I like it. I see you've taken to having a little bit of free space in front of you, which is great there, Gary. Because if you're looking, tend to look in a certain direction, it's better to have a bit of open space. That gives it a more natural feeling, doesn't it? Even though you're supposed to look at the camera, but supposedly. I'm maybe getting a little script viewer to fit under the camera, so I can have a monitor and then see myself, which is obviously the important thing. And like naturally, you want to see yourself, don't you? With that, I'm going to head for a test card and say good afternoon, good evening, and good night from GW7BZY with the Cube Zoom.
Check. Check. Okay, it seems to work, which is great. First I would like to respond regarding the power supply that I was talking about. Interesting idea, Gary, simply to replace all chips on the board. Usually I do repair at component level. So I want to give it a try. Actually, it's a rather complex power supply. I have to admit that. It's a power supply that, let's say, consists of several stages. In the first stage, the primary mains, independent whether it's 110 volts or 230 volts, is being converted to an intermediate step. That's the first really high power switching mode power supply. And then there are many secondary power supplies to deliver the 5 volts, the 12 volts, plus and minus, the 24 volts, 34 volts, and so on. So it's a complex one. And then there's also a certain sequence in which the power supply should start. So there's a second board even. I can show it. It consists of all kinds of level detectors and logic, so that the power supply is started in a certain sequence. yeah, I've still got hope, gentlemen. Yeah, it was Paul talking about the Philips power supplies. Oh, I did repair many of them. Especially in the TV sets, the former plasma TV sets. And that was most difficult, actually. A lot of these SMD capacitors suffered from losing their the substance out of it. I don't know the English name, but terrible power supplies to work on. But I did repair quite some. Well, I keep you posted regarding the progress on the power supply. Let's see what comes out of it. Okay, Leon talked using hearing aids for finding a pipe. Interesting application. And the serious flood at work. Yeah, what he talked about, that is serious, but what we learned from Austria and the countries around, that is also really serious, at least to my opinion. Martin, you wanted to show your cat, but I looked at your shoes. I do apologize. By the way, OpenTuner works fine here, so no complaints about that. Peter, it should be possible for you to get it up and running too. Okay. Oh yeah, Paul, you've got enough power for me, and also the picture that you're bringing in is good enough for me, so no problems whatsoever. But maybe that a new power amplifier can even make it better, Paul. Oh yeah, Frank, I saw your last broadcast, and I heard a strange sound event during your broadcast. Yeah, at a certain moment there was no audio, but a loud rumble. I do not know what it was. Okay, and Peter, you're looking forward to the next elections already in England. I'm afraid that you will have to wait for some time, although you will never know. Okay, it was a nice net. Thanks a lot. I will be back again, hopefully next week already. I sent the camera and the microphone to Nick. All the best to all of you. Bye-bye.
Oh, we got there in the end. Sorry about that. Just checking my audio. We got there in the end. Sorry about that. I'll just turn that down. G4 IMO. Yes, okay. Sorry about that. Yes, I'm going to try this over with trying to keep relatively still. There is a problem, I think, with my microphone. When Leon mentioned it, I did where I'm just wearing the microphone here on my lapel there, and just where the cable connects into the microphone, I just gently rotated it, and I was looking at the VU meter on OBS, and it went off. So I won't fiddle with it on the net while I'm speaking, but I will investigate what's wrong with that after the net. I don't think it's probably repairable. It's only a very cheap lapel microphone that I bought on eBay, so probably have to throw it away and seek out a new microphone. I don't think Leon is listening, because he said within 2 minutes he was going to jump in his car and go off to work. But anyway, thanks for the information about the loop. I will certainly be trying that sometime next week. See if I can find this pipe. Right. Yes, and Paul. Yes, I wish you luck on that switch mode power supply there. It looks very complicated. I've never had any success repairing a switch mode power supply. I think you have to, apart from think you have to change all the components basically and start from scratch. I'm all right with you know, analog power supplies, that they're easy to repair, but switch modes, you know. Anyway, I wish you lots of luck with that. Hope you can repair your spectrum analyzer. Right, that's enough from me, I think. I'm going to disappear, and I shall go and help the XYL with her exams this afternoon. So I'll say 73, and hope to see you all next time. I'm not sure if I'm going to be on next week, but if I can, I will come up. Right. To I notice Phil is on the chat there. I don't know whether he's going to come on in a moment. I don't know, but I'll put it round to you, Gary, and perhaps you can invite Phil in to see whether he's going to come on. So ZS6YI to take G4IMO.
Okay, very good. I also saw Phil on the chat, and he had a very nice comment to give to Paul regarding switch mode power supply. So let's see, Phil, would you like to come in by chance? ZA6YI standing by for you. Check on the chat. 1 second. Oh, he's not in the shack. Okay, no problem, Phil. But he must be watching us. But there's some interesting comment Phil made there, Paul, on your power supply. And he's given a nice, he says it's called a Huntron tracker. And he's used to repair switch mode power supplies. The best tool I had was is that it right? A Huntron, Huntron tracker. I don't know what that is. And then he gives the web page where you can get it. So there we go. You can see it on the EL chat box, or the what is it? The BATC chat. So there we go. You've got it there. Great, Paul. Nice one. So all that's done. So with that, I'm going to say 7.3 to everybody on frequency. We'll close the net a bit earlier today. And thank you all for coming up. It's been great. And yeah, I just played around with the ER7's lens a bit. Just played with the depth of field slightly. I don't know if it's okay. It seems like the picture's okay. I haven't actually monitored it. And I'm a kilohertz down. I don't know why that should be. Yeah, it's not a bad picture. But anyway, quite a bit of detail. I think the audio's a bit better. Hope so anyway. It was a bit low. When we dust the shack, sometimes the little button moves. Anyway, with that, I wish everyone a very happy week. And by the way, Paul, yeah, Lorna's not having it as easy as she did with the first hip operation. She's had it quite difficult, and it's not been pleasant. It's definitely two different operations. And she was hoping to be done and dusted long ago. So it's now exactly 3 weeks. She is improving, but still a bit of pain and a bit of stiffness, which definitely wasn't there the first time. Same doctor, and he did warn her, or warn us, that it could be quite radically different. So I don't know if he tried a new technique, but anyway, in due course, all will be fine. Right, with that, I'm going to close the net, and I'll just throw the ball into the air if there's anyone else that wants to continue. And Martin, I'll get onto a WhatsApp with you in due course, just to get the information regarding that little unit one can get. That will save us a lot of time. 7-3 all, ZA6YI now clear, and bidding everyone on frequency a very, very happy week. And bidding everyone